Roddick, you said good morning. Where are you from? If it's morning where you are, you in China? Crazy Eagle. Thanks for the help. Oh, you got 3,300 people, $300. That's great. So, did you ever think about doing that before? Crazy or Eagle? How do you like to be called? I'm trying to get some links up here for you guys. Roderick, good morning. Why is it morning again for so many people? Were you, Mr. Morris? Thanks for your help, Katrina. Good evening. Oh, okay. What? I see. It says evening here, and the other one, it says morning. I have two things. I'm going to put in a bunch of, if that shows up in the in the notes, there's a bunch of links there that I'm going to talk about. Uh, I hope they all show up. Let's see. I have to do this two steps maybe. Getting some people showing up. Good. Now, what'd you do with my copy? Here it is. Well, one thing I want to share with you guys is that there's a reporter. I mean, you may have heard me talk about her earlier. She's in the Washington Post, and her name is Michelle Singletary. I think Michelle Singletary, Tary. Yeah, and she talks about the scams on the internet. It's evening here in upstate New York. Okay, yeah. Now, I think one of my uh, I have two computers on, one where I try to see what I look like live to make sure I'm on, and then the other one that is taping me and stuff like that. Uh, but there is something, I don't know if you've seen around the internet. Uh, this kind of stuff doesn't appeal to me at all. But he said it's called Susu, Sousou. Like many others being recruited for a Susu, this woman was nearly duped into a pyramid scheme. So a susu, I'm not clear what that is. It's called a blessing loom or a gifting circle. All these things, and people are using them for scams. I followed your advice, got $1,000 in deferred loan, so that means you don't have to pay that $1,000 back. But you got $3,200 or $3,300. So the other part was a loan you had to pay back, and that's the 1% interest. And then the 1,000 was a freebie, and you didn't have to pay that back. Yeah, I mean, now they don't have any more of that grant money on the EDIL or EIDL, whatever it is. Uh, but they do have the loans. And so at 1%, man, if you have credit card debt, any other kind of debt, you should take that and pay it. So let me talk about the Susu or the gifting circle. Now, that sort of stuff. Promoters pitch the Susu as a common practice among Caribbean and African immigrants as a way to help their businesses grow. Briscoe was told, that's the woman who got scammed, was told that she would be helping other black folks, some of whom may have lost their jobs because of the virus. It seemed like it was legal, she said, uh, who reached out to me as part of my due diligence research. I didn't want to bring anybody in unless I knew for sure because I didn't want anybody to lose their money. For the past several weeks, members of the church, friends and neighbors, and readers have asked me about the legitimacy of Sou, S-O-U, or similar schemes in which they are promised that if they put up $100 and in some cases $500 in a month or two, they will get a return of 8 times their cash. So if you put in $100, you're going to get $800 back in cash. Now, that has to be a scam. But it's easy to get trapped into that because if you're hurting for money, boy, it sounds easy. And people who sell these things know how to get you. I mean, they know how to fish, and they know how to sink the hook into your mouth, you know. So that's why you just have to ignore it. It's hard, though, I understand. But despite assurances by promoters, these blessings or susu or gift circles are illegal. See, if you even get caught up in one of these, you can go to jail for like a year, because they're illegal. The hallmark of an unlawful pyramid centers on two key things: the upfront entry fee, which the expectation of a significant payout, and a requirement to pursue two other people to join, who then must bring in two more recruits. Eventually, the whole enterprise collapses, and the last folks coming in, those at the wide base, lose their money. So that's why anybody who, I mean, and nowadays, anybody who asks you to give them money in order you to make more money, just don't do it. No matter how good it sounds, it's not going to be worth the aggravation, no matter what it is. That means they're making money, off of you, being just not as clever as them. No, the 1,000 deferred at three. Oh, the I get a check for 1,200 and then a check for 1,000, and they offered me the deferred. Okay, that sounds like maybe the PPL. I don't the PPP money crazy. I forget, but you got money, okay? And that's 3%, 3.75. Yeah, I think that's the PPP money. Uh, Okay, Viola, nice to see you. Love this, man. Listen closely and remember, it is how you apply. Truth, honesty is up to you. That's right, man. It just life's too short. But also, so on these pyramid things, they're actually tax fraud. And listen, a federal jury found two Connecticut women guilty of tax fraud for running a gifting circle and not paying taxes on the gain. See what they'll tell you? Oh, this is a gift. You don't have to pay taxes and things like this. And you cannot pay taxes on a gift, but this is not considered a gift by the IRS. The leaders were eventually sentenced to 48 months in prison. So they're now at in the prison in Connecticut. And actually, I gave a speech there once, a women's prison in Connecticut. Although not commenting directly about the Susu circles, the IRS spokesman said that under federal law, all income is taxable unless specifically exempt. Calling something a gift doesn't make it a gift. It's in simplest terms, a true gift assumes that the giver doesn't expect anything in return. So that's why you're giving them $500 because you're expecting to make $800. So that's not a gift. So you're going to jail if you don't pay taxes on it. But you're going to jail because that's a scheme, a scam too. So don't get involved. Listen to this. This is interesting. A pastor at where this woman goes to church, the First Baptist Church in Glenarden, where she worships, the pastor says repeatedly, scriptures Sculptures. That's how much that's how much I read the word scripture. Scriptures warn against seeking to get gain quickly. Now listen to this. Proverbs 15 dot 27 warns against greedy gain. It brings trouble to your home. So that's in the Bible. Greedy gain brings trouble to your home. Okay. So you could quote Proverbs 15:27. Greedy gain brings trouble to your home. So that's on that. Uh, Now, what I put in the chat there, I hope you see it, is a whole bunch of links I got. Well, one of the um, people, what do you call it, members that needed get rid of medical bills. Okay, now there's a wonderful website. Knew about it before. It's in our one stop about the, when you get a report, if you're looking for how to get free health care, dental care, and stuff like that, I send you this report, and in that report is this organization, but I never looked closely at it, you know, and because this guy had some trouble, I was trying to do some extra work and find good websites for him to solve his problem with all his bills that he has that he can't pay. Okay, here is the organization. Patientadvocate.org. Okay, patientadvocate.org. The link is there. I'll put it also at the end of this in uh, or in the morning. Somebody asked for it if you asked for it, but I'll put it in uh, after this because I'll put it in a report and all these things. There's a whole bunch of links. What this will do, okay, you get free help with medical bills. If you have a medical bill and you can't pay it all or you're surprised. See, the medical bills, what they're doing, and there's a nonprofit organization that does a lot of work in this, surprise medical bills. Like you wind up going to the emergency room or the doctor sends you somewhere, and all of a sudden you get $5,000 bill and you don't know what. It's all for like aspirins or some thing that you didn't know about. Uh, what does LUH mean? Twilight. uh, and so to fight all that stuff, we're not smart enough to know. People who are in the organization and trying to get money from you, they know how to waltz you around because you don't know stuff. Okay, so you need somebody who knows all the stuff and the stuff they're going to throw at you. Okay, so you go to patientadvocate.org. They assign you a person that just fights for you. Man, free. Now, this is free. This is a nonprofit organization. That's what I'm talking about, nonprofit. Now, there are patient advocates out there that, get your bills down and stuff like that. And I'm sure they charge, or there wouldn't be an association, which there is. But this is a free nonprofit. So you could do that. Okay. Now, the other thing they help you with, insurance denials and appeals. So you're trying to get, okay, you want breast enlargements, let's say, yeah, and they say no, no, Matthew, you can't get breast enlargements for some reason. Okay, so what do you do? Okay, you're gonna fight them. How do you fight them? You don't know the laws or whatever, or how they're hiding. I mean, they've turned down people before, but you are the first time you're being turned down, so you don't know the tools to fight with her. These people do this as a business, fighting these companies, and they don't charge. So they have insurance denials and appeals. So, you get a bill from your health insurance company. I can't pay that. That's stupid. I thought, or whatever. How are you going to do it? You're going to call the insurance company, and some bureaucrat on the other side of the phone or whatever has heard this thing 50 times in their life, and they know what to say, to just say, but you must pay the bill. But I can't pay the bill. But you must pay the bill. Yeah, it's like an old cartoon, and and they win all the time. But now you bring in the heavy hitters. Okay, so you go to patientadvocate.org, free, and they fight these suckers for you. Oh, Tula, great, thank you. uh, and that's important. That you get the kind of help you really need. Uh, and they know it better than me. That's what nonprofits to me are great. Whether it's lawyers or whatever. Okay, so that's it. Now the other thing they have co-pays. You go there, all of a sudden you owe $10,000 in co-pays, $5,000 or whatever it is. And what do? You call patientadvocate.org. Now we're probably going to have so many members call this place, it's going to go crazy, right? That's why I see what happens. And that's why be patient. You'll get stuff, with patience. The world is too screwed up. And if you want something fast, nobody wants to help somebody who's a pain in the ass and wants it to tomorrow or yesterday or whatever. You're not lovable. Well, I pay your that's not lovable. So you got to be patient to be lovable to get the best out of people, and that's what's important. So be lovable when you talk to people. You'll get more out of them. They'll help you along. Particularly these people that are, helping you for free. You have to show them that respect and love and whatever, so you get the best out of it. Tula, I'm fine, Tula. When you come into town, uh, and that's important. So now they'll help with a copay. So you have this $5,000, $2,000, $1,000 copay. Whoa, my God! Yeah, yeah. COVID, I can't even pay the rent. How the hell am I going to do this? Okay, you call patientadvocate.org. They'll do that for you. Okay, they assign you like a person, and this is all run by volunteers. See, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. You guys still see me? I don't know why. You guys still see me? Medical bills, that's are old too. Yes, Doug, I'd try anything like that. You know, uh, but my video went off. Let me see if I'm on the other. Oh, it looks like I'm still on. Okay, but I'm not in where my thing live. Okay, so I'm live. Okay, so uh, I gotta. You're fine. Okay, thank you, Murray. Uh, So yes, so late bills you didn't buy, yes, yeah, okay, you use them. Yeah. And see, even if they don't do it, they will refer you. See, that's why you don't have to be positive somebody's going to help you. That doesn't matter. If somebody says, yeah, that if you feel, hey, they maybe help me or not, don't call 15 other people to see if they will help you or not. No, you call that person you're looking for maybe to help you. Don't waste money on asking me. If you see somebody, hey, maybe these people help, call them. Don't call me because I really don't know. Nobody else really knows. And you get the real answer when you call those people. So call those people and say, hey, do you help something like this? I got this bill. It's 10 years old and I can't pay this damn thing. What, and if they can't help you, then you find out, well, who do you think can? And that's why. See, they could send you somebody else. I can't send you somebody else. I barely know the stuff I know. Yeah, they're in the business all the time. They know all this stuff. And so that's why you have to contact them. So you contact them okay, so we have copay. So they have copay relief. In other words, they have money actually to pay copays for you too. So that's a grant. Yeah, they have. So I mean, who would have thought? I mean, if you had, how do you know to ask for a copay grant? Yeah, and that's why it's just so complicated out there, and that's why just keep trying to learn, and that's why the more you call people like this that you think may help, you just call. They'll tell you better stuff than I could ever tell you because they deal with that problem every day. I don't. I deal with thousands of different problems. Okay. Oh, here's another help they do. Working while being a caregiver. Okay, so that means you have a friend, a relative, a mate, a partner, whatever, sick, and you got to be a caregiver now, but you also have a job. Okay, what are your benefits? What can you do? With your employer, what's your rights as a caregiver, or can you get money for that? they've been through all this. And they know stuff like this. And now with COVID, we're going to have a lot more of this kind of stuff going on, right? Uh, Now they have another section too that's really good. Uh, I mean, mine is better than I'll send you, but I dig a little deeper. But getting care when uninsured. Okay, they got a lot of the main things. I mean, members, ask me, tell me what state you're in. I'll send you a report on all the free stuff in your state for health care, dental care, pet care. I send it for free. It's a free report. We have one for every state. But this is good. And the other thing really is uh, I talked about this other needy men's dot or needy meds, NEEDYMEDS. I think I talked about this the other morning. Uh, my signal is low right now. No, it's not. You're not low. Uh, and needy meds. I mean, that has lots. That has 350. 300,000, 3,000 grants in it for people with healthcare conditions. And what they have there, it also has how to get free dental care, health care, also transportation, like how to get on airlines for free to go see a doctor and stuff like that. See, a lot of these and they have all these transportation freebies, or just getting a taxi to the doctor or whatever. All that is. Sally, send me again if I don't see it. So that's for healthcare, right, Sally? Yeah, just do it. Uh, it's safe. I'll look at these at the end. I hope I remember it's for healthcare. Probably will. But when it's good to back it up with a discussion and put, from your talk last night, I need a healthcare report for Indiana. Uh, but Needy Meds is just one of the great sites. And that's why this patient advocate site is another great site. They have thousands and thousands of grants in this site. And where it is in the site, it's called, if you go to patientadvocate.org, and I have it up in the beginning, and I'll put all these links in later too, then slash COVID care slash resources. They have so many grant resources, and not only government, very few government, mostly nonprofits. See, I think this is going to grow too. The source of free money coming from rich people, nonprofits, and things like that, because the government's slacking off on this. We got so many problems, and there's so many rich people. The rich, of course, got richer in the last 30 years, than richer than anybody else did. So maybe they're feeling guilty and giving a bunch of this stuff back. So that's why I think there'll be more uh, grants and like that from nonprofits in addition to the government. The government got to get its act together. If Biden wins, actually, look, he's talking about a big healthcare program, just really for child care and senior care, the caregivers. This is what's growing in our country more than anything else. Not high tech. It's we need caregivers. Yes, pet care too is also Diane there. So if you go to that, patient advocate slash COVID care slash resources, they have it all by Canada, like housing. Okay, you need help with housing. You need help with technology. You need a free computer. All this stuff. And I mean, to me, it's in for people related to healthcare, but a lot of it doesn't matter, if you have that problem or not. Now, what's neat about Needy Meds is the same way. They have a bunch of grants like that too. Can we get moving on another topic? Well, no, not yet. I'm not. I don't know why people want to run. We'll come to your show, Kelly. uh, and that's important too. So you have two websites: is patientadvocate.org and needymeds.org. Okay, now let's see what else I have down here. Now the other thing that I want to do is that if you ask me for money for starting a business. I have a report I send out, and in that report, I talk about how to get money from your state and your county and your city. Now, it's important because now I just went into New Jersey earlier, working for another, uh, helping another member for New Jersey, and they had a wonderful listing. Now I'm trying to find the bloody thing here. Where are you? Oh, here it is. So it's SBDC. Remember that? Like Small Business Development Center? SBDCNJ.com. That's why I see this SBDCs. Like if you're having trouble with your uh, SBA loans, contact your local SBDCs, which is Small Business Development Center. And that's America's SBDC. But here in New Jersey, and see, there's usually a state office, SBDCNJ, and that's a .com. That's the headquarters, and then every county will have a separate office. Yeah. So that's when you do, but it's good to start a state level. But they have a state thing. Now, here are the kinds of programs they have for starting a business or growing a business in New Jersey. Okay, they tell you about this Paycheck Protection Program, and they have how to find a lender in New Jersey to help you with the Paycheck Protection Program. And then they have the EIDL program, and then they have a link to apply there. Okay, this is what's neat about these organizations. See that what I look for. That's right, Henry. It's the SBDC NJ, not MJ. Nancy, New Jersey. .com. And after that, you're looking for COVID-19 small business resources. So just put COVID-19 when you get the SBDC NJ. Now, if you're not in New Jersey, it's important, I think, to look at this so you see the kinds of things that you should be looking for in your state. Okay, Henry. See, Kansas will have something similar, but take a look at this because the national ones they'll have. And now New Jersey has something called the Garden State Relief Fund. Okay, this is about the New Jersey Community Capital is offering working capital loans to small businesses and nonprofits negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The program received initial support from a foundation, Skype's fund, I don't know who they are, and a personal commitment from the president and CEO of that. Businesses and nonprofits with 3 to 50 full-time employees, okay? Applications, the aim is to process, and you get an application you'll find out within 10 to 14 days if you apply. Special opportunity for businesses located in the Thrive South Jersey footprint, thanks to the generous support of this foundation. Okay, now here's another one. They have grant opportunities related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now this is important because you're going to run into a lot of this. I received a few grants to help. Annie, what did you have up here? Oh, sorry, I can't run on. Oh, Allie, I received a few grants to help a little with past due balances, like from the Southern Smoke, which is for bartenders, cocktail wait staff only, and modest needs. But that was for necessities. I live in Odessa, Texas, and I need help. I have no car, medical, more. Okay, let me send you some stuff. See, that's another thing. See what Allie did there? There's like, right. She had a foundation, or he, for bartenders and waitresses, cocktail wait staff. There's grants for extra money. I mean, it won't be big money, so you get 500,000 bucks or whatever. But here's another thing this has here is that grant opportunities related to COVID. And you said, find a grant. Now, when you go to this grant, what they have in there, they have information from what's called Grant Station. Grant Station is a private company that tries to find grants for people. They have a database and they sell their information. So they supposedly have the information there for you. But I look at this, what they have, and it's for Minnesota, and it's for, well, the first one sounds Celebrating Women Grant Program. It's in Minnesota. I don't know. This is New Jersey we're looking at, so I don't know why this is that. See, they suckered the SBDC to get their information in here so they get us, let people know about their service. Yeah. Library, Literary Arts Emergency Fund, your business, probably not interested in that, but that's a national one at least. The World Bank Extractive Global Pandemic Support Trust. Um, this is for mining communities around the world. Well, it doesn't sound like New Jersey. Central Susquehanna, oh, a tourism grant in Pennsylvania. Well, that's the next state over. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Uh, there's an education grant, Child Care Services Association Relief Fund. Relief Fund supports a small number of licensed child care centers and family child care homes to support child care providers who have an immediate need for funding for additional staff because of stuff related to COVID. So that's sort of interesting. Yeah. But so it's hit and miss. That's why if you see, the big databases have artificial intelligence. So it's not real intelligence. That's why people are better. That's why if you call the SBDC in New Jersey, you'll probably know the ones a little better that know for sure they're for people in New Jersey because they do that every day. They'll run into them and whatever. Okay, now here's another one: Salesforce Care Small Business Grants. Part of Salesforce. That's a big app for people who manage their sale. They give $10,000 grants. Okay, now so anybody has a small business, this is for you. Between 2 and 50 employees, a for-profit company, have been in business for 2 years as of March, have annual revenue between 250 and 2 million. So that'll cut out a lot of people. Have experienced challenges because of the COVID-19. Okay, so they have $10,000 grant, but it's for people making at least their businesses at least $250,000. New Jersey Entrepreneur Support Program. That's interesting. See, to me, what's interesting that if you hear this, then your state, like you're in Kansas or whatever, uh, that they'll have something similar. Maybe not the same, maybe something different, but that's why it's knowing about them. Okay, before completing the application, the Entrepreneur Guarantee Program, please note that this is a two-part application initiated by the investor seeking and guarantee and finalized by the New Jersey company in which the investor is providing funding. So I guess that's investor funding. Okay, has a minimum of 50% of employees in New Jersey, has fewer than 25 employees at the time, has under $5 million in revenue. So this is not mom and pop stuff. Here's another one: New Jersey EDA, Economic Development Administration, Small Business Emergency Assistance Grant. Okay, now that's information eligibility program, program 19, Business Support Eligibility Wizard. So you go and click this and it has a wizard to see if you're eligible for it. Small Business Assistance Grant will provide up to $5,000 for New Jersey-based companies that have 1 to 10 full-time equivalent employees. The grant funding is targeted as unrestricted payroll and working capital support and cannot be used for capital expenses, including construction. So you can't buy big stuff, you can't buy big stuff. So it's really for living expenses, which is usually the other way around. They want to give you money. And this is a grant, and it's $5,000, and the application is right there to apply to. And see, the other thing too, when you find this office, that they're the office to find out where else can you go. I mean, the whole thing in doing research and finding stuff it's like investigative reporting or a private investigator. Something leads to something else. Small Business Emergency Loan. Now, this is not SBA. This is from the New Jersey Office of Economic Development, and it's for businesses and nonprofits. Okay, so that's available. and it's up to $100,000. The application is right there. Okay, $100,000 for it. See, so that's what I mean about your economic development. And in that report about business money, I show you who to contact. There's also an association I have there to find out all the economic development associations in your state, because there's usually more than one. You have a state one, then you have a city, county, stuff like that. So it's you knock on everybody's door, and that's why if all this stuff, if you find that in, Googling yourself, it's really a miracle, I think, if you do that, because that's too hard to do. Uh, Anybody have a question? Let's see, where's the best way to. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I need help how to contact these places. Okay, Kelly. Well, yes, I mean, I gave you the links. I'll give you the links. I mean, I gave you the link to New Jersey, sbdcnj.com. I mean, if you're New Jersey, if you're not New Jersey, you want to look at that, but you can't apply to any of those there in New Jersey, except there's two or three national ones. But the others are just for people in New Jersey. Uh, what is of interest to you, Kelly? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm in Florida school nurse. We are supposed to start August 10th, but postponed till August 25th. I have lost income. My independent contract. I do not make money as working for the health department. Will you be able to assist? Yes, Kathleen, send me a, dis, a discussion. Start a new discussion. That's the best way to get me. Start a new discussion, and I'll answer that. It'll take me maybe up to 48 hours. Now, here, Kelly, you should apply for the pandemic unemployment money and see if you're could get that. That's important to do. I'm going to send you a list of scholarships for healthcare people. I mean, it's like about 300 ways to pay for getting, you know, nursing education. It's a wonderful directory of all that stuff. You want to go through that. Now, also, what you want to do, Kathleen, is, and I've done this a bunch of times, and I'll send it out to you too again. You want to search for COVID grants in your area that are new. And I show you how to do that so you don't get, if you put COVID grants Florida now, you're just going to get 80 million, and you don't want to do that. You want to do COVID grants, COVID grants Florida, and then on the search bar on Google, you want to put, let me see what, I think it's called, uh, let me write this in, COVID grants Florida. Okay, when you do that, over on the right-hand side of where you put the search for Google, there's something called settings. You go to settings, and then you go down the drop-down list as advanced search, and you click on advanced search, and then you drop down there, and down in there it has last update, and it says anytime. You want to change anytime to last month, okay? So I'm going to put last month in there. Okay, now I have, this all looks pretty good stuff. Okay, so now you have the COVID grants for last month in Florida. So business resources, services, and assistance, and that's a .org. So that's good. Grants Watch, that's that other people trying to get you to subscribe. Uh, Learning.org, where to find emergency financial resources. I'm a little skeptical of that, but that's a FloridaHealth.gov, Florida State issues COVID updates, grants, related funding. Okay, Governor Santa. Okay, he has grant opportunities for Miami-Dade County. Program supports grants in 6 areas. Florida SBC network, grants there. Community development block grants. That's it. Okay, then there are ads. You skip over the ads. You don't want ads. See, I think they're getting wise on this. See, they want you to see only ads. Fighting Chance Fund in St. Petersburg. That's an emergency grant. Yep. Uh, so that's what you want to do. And I'll show you there's 4 offices. You have trouble paying money. Um, then I send you how to contact these 4 offices to learn about grants that they have for people who are struggling in any way. These are the offices that are going to know, and then to find the new ones. So if it's for rent, you could put COVID grants rent Florida, and see just what's there to find rent. Actually, I just found another grant today in I think it's New Jersey again because I've been playing around in there. Is New Jersey is giving grants to the landlord to pay your back rent. So they're not going to give the money to you. They give it to the landlord to pay your back rent. Well, that's cool. But you have to know about it, right? Otherwise, you're still sitting there worrying and everything. And so they're notifying the landlords. But if you know, then also if you know about the program, you call your landlord and say, hey, here's where you could get my rent. I can't pay you, but here they have money at the state. Now, I know it's in New Jersey. What other states? See, this is where the COVID money from the last COVID stimulus package, there's a couple 100 billion or 100 and some billion that hasn't been used yet. And it's supposed to be used by the states for this. Now, yesterday or the day before, there's another one like that. Oh, in Minneapolis, they have a big rent payment giveaway, like that, but they're paying individuals to pay the rent. This is paying landlords to pay the rent. See, that's a problem. If they put on if they say, okay, nobody has to pay their rent, well, the landlord's getting screwed, right? So what are we going to do with them? That's right. This is a way to get money to the landlord, but it wipes away your debt. So that's another thing to look for. That's right. This stuff gets complicated. So just assume you don't know. That's easier to try to figure out what you do know. It's just assume you don't know, and start looking and start talking to people. Like in the 5 people, I'm going to give you 5 local places that their businesses or they're nonprofit organizations, so they're not really a business. They're in the in their mission is to help people who are struggling financially. That's all they're supposed to do. Okay, so they help people struggle financially. So you talk to them. Maybe they don't have a program to help you right now, but they will know who else does. And if you call enough of them, then you get luckier. That's how you get lucky in life. You just talk to enough of people. Okay. I got to answer a bunch of questions. So you have a question to just start a new description. My mind is, I've been answering questions all day, and I think it's getting a little dusty in there. It must be dusty. So let me know. You're pissed at me, fine. Just tell me because I'll look at it. I don't know if I'll change, but I'll look at it and consider it. Whatever. Just get too old to change. Got too much to do, but I don't want to piss people off. And remember, if you're ever unhappy or something, I'll give you your money back. Don't worry about it. I don't want anybody to be where they don't want to be. If you don't want to be here, I don't want to force you to be here. I mean, that's silly. Life's too big for both of us. And if this doesn't help you, then you got to find something else that does. It's out there. Maybe not me. I can't solve all the problems, but we'll try. Okay, guys. Well, thank you again for putting up with me, and I'll talk to you soon.